Unemployment is like a headache or a high temperature. It's unpleasant and exhausting, but not carrying within itself an explanation of its cause. And for hundreds of Windsorites, they're struggling to find a remedy to that very ailment as our city's unemployment rate hits a staggering 10.5%. America's inability to stabilize their own economy has a direct and devastating correlation on our efforts to stimulate and spur job growth, according to Dr. Alan Hall, the Director of Labor Studies at the University of Windsor.
Well, it's clearly quite disturbing in the sense that it means that the area continues to have the worst unemployment rate in the country, and it certainly suggests that the kind of challenges that the region, the city, and of course the county face are quite significant and are not likely to get better terribly quickly. I mean, there was some hope that the unemployment rate was getting better over the last several months up until very recently, but all the other signs were suggesting that that wasn't going to last in any case. What's happening in the States in particular, their employment situation continues to be quite grave. And of course, the area that we're talking about too, which affects Ontario the most, New York, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, they're all experiencing the same kind of difficulties, very high levels of unemployment and very limited economic growth. So it's not at all surprising that Ontario, particularly sort of the areas that have relied on industrial jobs, manufacturing jobs, are showing such limited employment.
With an unemployment rate of 11.7%, Barrie takes the cake as the only other Canadian city to have a higher unemployment rate other than Windsor. And Karen Boal, the manager of vocational services for the Association for Persons with Physical Disabilities, provides her keys to getting people off the unemployment line and back to work.
Well, there would have to be some strategic planning with the City of Windsor, along with some key people in the area of business and industry. Windsor's very unionized, and there would need to be involvement from the union reps, and perhaps looking at what available sites and equipment have been abandoned and what could possibly be manufactured in those areas, but definitely it needs to be dealt with and talked about on an immediate basis.
Hall foresees a grim reality when it comes to the sustainability of the job market in Windsor.
I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon, I'm afraid, and I think this principally again because what's going on in Europe is quite disturbing, and if the euro fails, it's going to have resonating effects across the global economy. The United States is also clearly having some major problems. There's some concern that they may well move into a very long-term recessionary position or a very low growth period, something along the lines that Japan has been in over the last, actually Japan's been in this situation for 15, 20 years almost now. And if that happens in the United States, then we could be into a really prolonged period of very low growth and very little employment creation.
For CFTV, I'm Kevin McShann.